Get back!
A guy named Josh has been dealing with strange noises in his house for several nights in a row. Soft tapping on the walls, doors slowly creaking open by themselves, and even the faint sound of someone breathing right behind him whenever he's alone have turned his home into a possible haunting. This time, instead of trying to ignore the paranormal activity, he grabbed his camera to finally see what was going on.
Keep hearing shit downstairs. Rustling stuff. Check it out. Shouldn't be anybody in here but me. Go away.
If you look carefully at the footage, you can spot it. A dark figure standing completely still in the doorway. But what really sent chills through everyone watching was the moment that shadowy shape suddenly rushed toward him, followed by the violent slam against the door, as if something unseen was trying to break through with full force. Some viewers believe Josh is dealing with a shadow entity, a type of supernatural spirit said to latch onto people rather than places, feeding off fear until it gathers enough energy to manifest in a more physical, possibly demonic way. Others think it could be the ghost of someone who died in the house, stuck between worlds and desperate to be noticed. The scariest theory, though, is that Josh may have accidentally invited something in, through a ritual, a game, or even just curiosity. And now, it refuses to leave. The video sparked a huge debate online about cleansing and protection. Many suggested he saged the house, but one commenter, claiming to be a paranormal expert, went much further. They insisted Josh would need a Reiki master for cord cutting, a shaman to perform a full blessing, and a physical medium to handle cleansing and removal of the entity. They also said the entire house should be smudged with sage from top to bottom, starting in the attic and ending in the basement, making sure every reflective surface is covered and each doorway and windowsill is lined with salt. After that, Josh should ground himself by standing barefoot in the grass for at least 15 minutes before going back inside. Finally, they advised using holy water, drawing a cross on his forehead, placing one on every mirror, sprinkling it over his bed and the most active areas of the property, and continuing this daily until real help arrives. So what do you think? Would any of that truly make a difference against this kind of paranormal activity, or is Josh facing something far beyond a simple cleansing? Before we jump into our next terrifying video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, so you'll be the first to know whenever we upload something new. Now let's get back to our next video. A woman uploaded this eerie clip online, explaining that for weeks she'd been bothered by how the previous tenants left the place. They moved out in such a rush they didn't even bother to take their curtains. Their mail kept arriving at the door, and according to one neighbor, they packed up and disappeared in the middle of the night after something happened. No one ever said what that something was. A few weeks after she moved in, This chilling moment was caught on camera.
It was even that. That door was completely latched. I heard the latch click and then open. Listen. This. And then it just opened. And I was standing on that stair. So I was like, called my daughter, no answer. Called my mom, no answer. My mom is literally in bed. My daughter is literally in her apartment. This is like a farmer's latch, okay? Nobody can explain. I hope nobody followed me in the house and they're hiding behind the recliner or some shit. See how I latched it? Listen. Pull it hard. Latch. Go. Very bizarre. It's never happened in 47 years. Not a warm, fuzzy feeling.
She says she was completely alone in the house that night. No wind, no one outside, nothing that could explain what you're about to see. Ever since, she hasn't been able to shake the feeling that some kind of ghost or supernatural presence might be involved. This is where the argument in the comments really kicks off. Some viewers claim there's no need to fear any paranormal activity unless the dog reacts. And in this clip, the dog seems totally relaxed. So to them, this can't be a haunting. But others make a much more unsettling point. They believe the real incident she's talking about, the door unlatching and slowly opening, actually happened before she managed to hit record, meaning whatever demonic or unseen entity caused, it had already come and gone. Of course, the dog looks calm now. So which side do you agree with and why? This man is ridiculously proud of his haunted doll collection, so whenever he gets the chance, he shows the creepy dolls off on TikTok like they're his prized possessions. But by doing that, he accidentally gave his audience a front row seat to something truly terrifying. Sharp-eyed viewers began spotting disturbing little details in the clips, pointing out moments of strange movement and potential paranormal activity hiding in the background of his haunted doll videos.
Moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the wall. Try for something different. Oh, God, please.
After he noticed one particular doll appearing to move on its own, he decided to bring her into his bedroom so he could watch her more closely, convinced there might be a ghost or supernatural force attached to her. That's when he started to realize just how dark and sinister this so-called haunted doll might really be. Before long, it wasn't just that one doll acting strange. The other dolls in his collection started moving as well. The creepy videos blew up online, gaining so much attention that the owner was eventually invited onto a television show to share his haunting experiences with the world. But even under bright studio lights, the curse of his dolls seemed to follow, and the paranormal activity didn't stay behind at home.
Aku tanya, buat apa tisu wong kamu tisu ada kata aku. Loh, siapa yang minta tisu? Enggak, aku enggak minta tisu gitu. Loh, tadi yang ke kamar minta tisu kamu kan? Enggak, aku di kamar di sini.
Push. Apa tuh? Gerak bonekanya. Aku di kamar di sini.
What happened during the taping is a total showstopper, and the background makes it even more chilling. As Haroon is explaining to the host how one specific doll named Bella is known for her mischievous haunted pranks, a book suddenly tips over on the table. The title of the book, Helen Dalam Dekpan Chimeru, translates to Long Embrace of Chimeru, a well-known horror story about hikers facing terrifying paranormal encounters on the haunted slopes of Mount Chimeru. The coincidence feels almost too perfect. If you watch Bella's arm in that moment, you can clearly see it shift, as though an invisible hand is pushing the book right off the edge. The timing is flawless. This happens at the exact second Haroon is talking about Bella's history of tricks. It's like the spirit or ghost bound to the doll hears her name and decides to stage a live demonstration that goes far beyond a random poltergeist bump. Paranormal investigators would call this a direct, intelligent haunting, a targeted supernatural interaction. Do you agree, or do you think there's another explanation?
Enggak, aku di kamar di sini.
On September 17th, 2025, a man who claims he's being haunted by a terrifying unseen force finally decides to try and capture proof of the haunting. For him, this isn't just random paranormal activity. He says it's personal. Whatever this thing is, it follows him everywhere he goes. At home, at work, everywhere. Completely terrified, he decides to set a trap. He goes to his workplace, chooses a spot already covered by a security camera, and deliberately leaves his phone on the table as bait. He repeats this for 4 days, but nothing happens. Then, on the 5th day, the CCTV finally records what he's been waiting for. What he captures on video is absolutely chilling. Let's watch.
Jour 5, j'ai voulu piéger ce phénomène et j'ai réussi. Depuis un moment, mon téléphone change souvent de place. J'ai demandé à ma femme et mes enfants, mais personne n'y touche. Et ces phénomènes, ça arrive de partout, à la maison, comme au boulot, comme n'importe où en fait. Du coup, j'ai décidé de le laisser poser sur une table du boulot volontairement et je suis parti. Et regardez ce qui se passe. On ne voit pas l'image parce que j'ai accéléré la séquence, mais ce qui me glace le sang, c'est que le téléphone s'attarde jamais sur les photos du travail ou d'animaux. C'est toujours les mêmes. Les photos de famille, des amis et surtout les enfants. Jusqu'à présent, ça concernait que moi, alors je m'inquiétais pas, mais là, ça prend une ampleur trop importante. C'est décidé, je vais agir. Merci aussi pour vos nombreux messages. Beaucoup me conseillent de mettre de la sauge ou de tenter de communiquer avec ce qui se passe. Je vais tenter de faire ça ce week-end, mais j'avoue que je suis pas habitué et surtout, il faut que je prenne mon courage à deux mains parce que là, je suis clairement pétrifié. Et je poste.
There it is. The proof he was desperate to get. In the footage, his phone suddenly slides across the table by itself, unlocks, and starts scrolling through his gallery, stopping on photos of his family and kids, just like it always does. Now, unless this personal entity that haunts him everywhere has somehow learned to use Face ID, there's no logical explanation. Terrified for the safety of his loved ones, he realizes he has to act, but he has no idea that his decision to try communicating with this ghostly presence is about to make the demonic activity around him far worse.
Là, il y a des bruits de malades ici, là. Là, vous entendez? Putain, il n'y a rien. La porte, elle a bougé. Je suis sûr qu'elle a bougé. Non.
The very next day, while he's working alone again, he hears loud banging coming from the workers' lockers. When he goes to check, the noise suddenly stops. Then, right in front of him, one of the locker doors slams shut with such force it makes him question every choice that led him there. Still, his curiosity and fear of the supernatural push him to keep filming. And that's when things take a very weird turn.
La porte, elle a bougé. Je suis sûr qu'elle a bougé. Non.
This is where the haunting escalates into something truly nightmarish. Back at his workplace, He's trying to record a voiceover for his next video when he suddenly notices a power cord hanging in front of him, slowly levitating in midair.
Ah, j'étais en train de faire la voix off pour la prochaine vidéo. Et regardez là la prise. Je suis sûr qu'elle était en train de bouger juste avant. Putain, c'est flippant. Hé, oh, oh! Putain. Ah, ce coup de flip, putain.
You can hear the pure panic in his voice as he realizes he has just caught the entity red-handed on camera. And this is exactly what makes his footage so terrifying. It's like he's being stalked by his own personal poltergeist, an intelligent, possibly demonic spirit that's now bold enough to manifest and mess with him while he's simply trying to work and get on with his life.
Putain. Je suis désolé, j'ai pas grand chose à dire. Hein? Ah! Arrête!
After this horrifying paranormal experience, he leaves the camera rolling so he can review whatever else might happen. And just moments later, something else occurs that pushes this case of supernatural activity into a whole new level of terrifying. Some viewers later notice something even more disturbing hidden in the clip. Right at the moment the shoe moves on its own, the video distorts. A strange, wavy glitch ripples across the screen from right to left, almost like a heat wave or an energy field passing directly in front of the lens. At the same time, a crackling sound can be heard in the audio. And it's at that exact moment the door on the left violently slams shut. Some people believe the camera accidentally caught the ghostly entity itself, not as a clear figure, but as a distortion in the air, a supernatural ripple. Others argue it's just a digital glitch. Either way, it's hard to ignore how perfectly timed that strange distortion is with the physical haunting. Then, just a few days later, things get even more disturbing.
On voit des petits insectes qui passent devant la caméra, c'est ça qui crée les détections. Et après, je vais avancer la caméra justement au moment où moi j'arrive. Et déjà, ce qu'on peut entendre, c'est que le chien aboie, alors que habituellement, il aboie pas vraiment comme ça. Il y a quelque chose visiblement qui le perturbe. Le rectangle jaune que vous voyez, c'est une détection humanoïde. J'ai mis la sensibilité à 100% sur l'application. Et regardez bien, une détection, deux détections. Alors, est-ce que c'est la même ou pas? J'en sais rien, mais voilà, on voit que ça se déplace en tout cas. Alors, est-ce que c'est un hasard? Et là, encore une de plus. J'ai changé de caméra pour voir, j'ai une caméra à l'autre extrémité de la maison, et en fait, il s'avère que c'est la même chose. Au moment où j'arrive, donc avant, là, on est avant, il se passe rien, et au moment où j'arrive, on va le voir, 9h07, c'est le moment où je sors de la voiture, voilà, il commence à y avoir une détection qui a l'air en plus de fuir à l'approche du chien. Voilà.
This time, the CCTV camera outside captures a bizarre anomaly that seems to literally walk right up behind him as he arrives at work. Is it just another camera malfunction, or has he picked up a shadowy stalker from the other side? Instead of doing the smart thing, like calling a priest or a paranormal investigator, he decides to taunt it. And as you're about to see, that was a massive mistake.
C'est ça, là. Je suis sûr que c'est ça. Ah. Ah. Vous voyez? Je vais essayer de lui parler. Hé! Hey! Hey, tu me fais pas peur, hein? Ah!
Taunting the evil presence definitely doesn't calm anything down. After that encounter, commenters start suggesting he might be cursed, hexed, or even bewitched. They tell him to search his surroundings for anything strange that doesn't belong, any object that could be tied to dark rituals or demonic activity. When he finally looks properly, he finds this.
Ah, fallait que je vous montre ça, là. J'ai été dans ma pièce de peinture, là, ce matin, et regardez ce que je trouve au sol. Je sais pas si c'était là avant ou pas, mais j'ai l'impression d'en voir de partout maintenant. Depuis le live, j'en vois toutes les nuits. Dites-moi si vous voyez la même chose que moi, s'il vous plaît. S'il y en a qui connaissent, dites-moi ce que ça signifie. À chaque endroit marqué par un phénomène, il y avait un pentagramme qui était tracé, soit au sol, soit sur une surface. C'était systématique. Celui-là, j'ai dû le chercher quand même. Et regardez bien, c'est gravé sur le côté de l'échelle. Alors, qu'est-ce que ça signifie? Qui trace ces signes? Est-ce que c'est moi? Est-ce que c'est un proche, un ami, un collègue ou un membre de la famille? Est-ce que c'est lié à ce qui se passe ici? Est-ce que c'est un symbole protecteur, une mise en garde ou quelque chose de beaucoup plus sombre? J'en ai aucune certitude. Je suis perdu entre plusieurs hypothèses, entre le canular organisé, la coïncidence ou la réelle manifestation liée à ces signes. Pour être franc, je montre ici qu'une infime partie de ce que je vis chaque jour. Même voir le symbole apparaître encore et encore, ça soulève forcément des questions. Voilà l'extrait du jour. On entend clairement des coups sur les murs alors que je suis à l'intérieur de la pièce de peinture. Je vous laisse regarder, écouter et n'oubliez pas de vous abonner après avoir vu la vidéo. Merci à tous.
Pentagrams marked around his house and workplace. Symbols often linked to occult summoning rituals and believed to open doorways for demonic manifestations and aggressive spirits. And just when you think it can't get any worse, he records one more piece of evidence that might just make your jaw drop. Aw.
Là, j'étais en train de bosser et je suis quasiment sûr qu'il y a ce truc-là qui était en train de bouger là. Oh. C'est pas possible, il y a une bestiole dedans là. Putain, y'a rien. Y'a rien. Voyez, je vous mens pas, hein. Je vous mens pas, hein. Là, y a rien non plus, hein. Putain, c'est pas vrai, ça. Ouais, c'est bon, je me casse.
Notice how close the camera is placed to the scene. No wires, no visible strings, no jump cuts, just raw, unedited footage of something that clearly wants attention from the living. So what do you think is really happening here? Is this a genuine case of poltergeist activity, an intelligent haunting, or an elaborate setup? If you could give him advice on dealing with this terrifying supernatural situation, what would you say? Let us know in the comment section.
Je sais pas si c'était là avant ou pas, mais j'ai l'impression d'en voir de partout.
An urban explorer decides to investigate one of America's most notoriously haunted prisons, the Ohio State Reformatory. With more than 200 recorded deaths inside its walls, many believe the building still holds on to all the pain, violence, and despair trapped there from decades ago. The towering, echoing cell blocks are said to be crawling with paranormal activity. Visitors report seeing shadowy ghost figures drifting from one cell to the next, hearing faint snoring in empty rows, and feeling a heavy, suffocating dread the deeper they step into the darkness. But the most feared area of all is a small, empty chamber, locals call the chair room, believed to be home to a particularly demonic and aggressive spirit. People who taunt or provoke whatever haunts that room often leave with unexplained scratches and bruises, as if an invisible force lashed out at them. While moving through different sections of the prison, the explorer's camera ends up capturing something truly chilling, the kind of supernatural evidence that makes your skin crawl.
What the? That's some creepy ass shit. Hold on, I want to see this shit. And none of them. I am.
After the footage went online, people who had also visited the reformatory began flooding the comments, sharing their own haunting stories, strange encounters, eerie sounds, sudden icy cold spots, and that overwhelming feeling that some unseen presence was watching them from the shadows. On Instagram, a guy has been sharing what he claims are experiments with a ghostly entity that allegedly lives in his basement. At first, everyone assumed it was just horror skits for clout, but each new clip of paranormal activity has become harder to dismiss. In one video, slow, deliberate footsteps echo their way halfway up the basement stairs. Moments later in that same clip, a bright blue balloon suddenly starts bouncing in midair, not rolling across the floor or drifting like normal, but jerking upward as if an invisible hand from below is hitting it. A few days later, he films again after hearing the same footsteps. This time, those heavy steps climb all the way up the basement stairs and stop right in front of him. On camera, his arm snaps back twice as two sharp slaps echo through the dark basement, even though no one else is visible. The final video is the most haunting standing at the top of the stairs. He holds a roll of toilet paper out, almost daring whatever ghost or demonic presence is down there to react. The footsteps start again, slow and heavy, and the roll begins to unspool on its own. Viewers called it some of the clearest paranormal activity footage online, proof that whatever lurks below isn't just moving objects, it's actually responding. This woman has a very unusual hobby, collecting haunted dolls. To her, they're not just creepy decorations. She believes each doll holds the ghost of someone who once lived, and her goal is to talk to these spirits, learn their stories, and share them with the people who follow her. She even says she tracked one of the entities back to its real grave, naming each doll after the person supposedly attached to it, as if she's keeping their memory alive. Then one night, during a live stream, something truly disturbing happened. Take a look.
There's nothing out there. Even the cats are confused. We have had scratching on the wall before. We've had scratching on the wall before. That's, I don't, unless she does it too, but that's always my wall scratching. I have wall scratching a lot. This is like a regular thing in my house. Usually Deanna, but I don't know why. Is that gonna stop? It's done now.
Some of her viewers genuinely support her paranormal work, saying she's giving these restless spirits a voice, helping them find peace, and treating each ghost with respect instead of fear. Many fans have even developed the same fascination, asking her which haunted dolls to get and how to safely connect with them at home. But not everyone sees this haunting as harmless critics warn she might be inviting darker, deceptive entities into her house, spirits that pretend to be kind but slowly turn aggressive. Others worry. She's opened a doorway, a portal that could latch onto her, or even follow people who watch her live streams. Is she helping the dead, or playing with something demonic and dangerous? What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Late one night, Luke and his wife were on the couch watching a movie when their baby monitor suddenly began acting up. At first, Luke brushed it off as a simple glitch. He even walked down the hall twice to check the nursery, finding the baby asleep and the room completely normal. But just as he was about to sit back down, his wife noticed something on the screen that made their blood run cold. Shaken, they posted the creepy clip online, hoping someone could explain what they had just seen. Take a look. In the video, a small boy stands beside their bed, right at the bedside, even though they only have one child, and that child is still just a baby. So who, or what, was that ghostly figure in the room? Later, they posted a photo marking the exact spot he stood and said it looked like he came from the window and vanished just as quickly as he appeared. The footage remains a mystery, especially since it took Luke less than 2 minutes to go back, check the room, and find it empty. Whatever the answer is, they now burn sage and sleep with the lights on after that chilling supernatural encounter.